Okay, so Kraven actually looks good? Yeah, I really wasn't expecting this. Now, I know you guys are waiting for my Shadow of the Green Goblin review. That comic book has just finished, and I was meant to release it last week, but then we got freshman year stuff, and now we've got Kraven the Hunter dropping a trailer in the middle of the night when everyone's asleep. Like, what is Sony doing? I have no idea. But here we go. Here's my thoughts on this trailer and on this film in general, because this actually looks okay. So first, when they announced that Kraven the Hunter was getting a solo film, I was very skeptical. Obviously, we have had the likes of Morbius, which wasn't that great, and the Venom films, they haven't really been up to par either. And then I got even more worried when Madam Web came out, because damn, that thing was absolutely awful. I don't even think you can call it a movie. It was that bad. But then the new trailer for Kraven the Hunter came out, and it actually looks pretty good. Even if it isn't a fantastic story, it still looks like the action set pieces, and it looks like the gore is going to be entertaining to watch. At least it may look like it has some sort of substance rather than just being an average, really poorly shot, poorly written Sony Spider-Man movie that Madam Web was. At least it has something going for it. So yes, this movie genuinely looks interesting. The one thing that I am concerned about is the story, because one thing that this Kraven trailer did, even though it showed us the likes of the Rhino, and like I mentioned, it showed us some really cool action sequences, I don't really understand what the story is meant to be. But maybe they're just holding the cards close to their chest, and perhaps we will learn more about that on the lead up to the actual film, and maybe they're just saving most of the story for the film itself. Not only that, we've actually had some positive reports from this film as well, and not just from some random leaker on the internet. No, we've had some very positive reports from Deadline. Essentially, they came out and said that the film had reshoots and was delayed so that the characters and the story could be tightened up. And the reason they went back and did the reshoots, and one of the reasons as to why Kraven the Hunter has been delayed so many times, is because of the poor reception of Madam Web. And Sony apparently doesn't want to repeat the atrocity that Madam Web was. Are Sony actually learning? It seems like they possibly are, which is really positive to see. Now, even if this movie is still mid and is still slightly below par, at least we know Sony is sort of on a learning curve. At least they are going in the right direction, taking notes and taking that feedback from Madam Web and at least acting upon it. At least they've gone back, done reshoots to try and fix the mistakes that they had in Madam Web, but this time they've done it with Kraven the Hunter. So yes, at least it looks like Sony is learning. And the positive news doesn't just stop there. Essentially, this movie is directed by a guy called J.C. Chandler, and apparently Sony likes the film that much that they've even hired him for his next film. Apparently, he is set to direct a new murder mystery film at Sony Pictures in the next few years, which is absolutely crazy. The audience and critic reception for Kraven the Hunter hasn't even come out yet. No one knows how anyone will react to this film, but Sony has already jumped the gun and hired this guy for another movie. That is how confident they are in this film. So they are clearly happy with what they see. Now, of course, Sony don't know their hands from their feet. We know, we've seen Morbius, we've seen Madam Web. Sony clearly have no idea what they're doing, building a Spider-Man cinematic universe that doesn't even include Spider-Man. So this movie could come out, it could be trash, and they've just hired him because he was cheap. Who knows the reason, right? However, giving Sony the benefit of the doubt and playing devil's advocate, that spells positive news for Kraven the Hunter. And I think from everything we've seen, it is looking like the most positive and looking like it will be the best Sony movie that they've actually ever made when it comes to these Spider-Man spin-off films about his villains. Now, once again, like I have mentioned, it could come out and it could be really bad, but this is probably the best news we've had from any of the Sony movies ever. One small criticism that I do have about the trailer, however, is that Rhino does kind of look a bit tacky, but once again, we are a few months out from the film's release, so CGI and all that can be touched up from then to now. But either way, I think the movie looks pretty cool. It definitely surprised me with how good that trailer was. I was not expecting that trailer to impress me as much as it did. But either way, I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Are you guys excited for Kraven the Hunter, and do you think it will it'll be a good movie. If you enjoyed this video, then click here because you're sure to enjoy this one. This video is about my opinion on what I think is the best scene in any Spider-Man movie. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks to the members, you guys are absolutely awesome. If you do want to support the content and become a member yourself, then make sure to click the join button down below. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care and peace.